Please be seated again.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
To
wabarakatuh.
open the PhD defense for the promovendus, Zia Rahman Mush Kalam Zai, student number 193-003-6086 by reciting Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
The Doktor Promosi Fresh.
Any question?
Inshallah.
Before the defense start, I will introduce you the examining committee members. First, Professor Nur Haidi, MA, MPhil, PhD, Supervisor, Examiner 1. He is a professor of FUIN, Sunan Kalijaga, sitting at... Yeah, why not?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى ال سيدنا محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. Your Excellency, the Chairman of the Exam Committee, Honorable Secretary of Exam Committee, Professor Dr. Taqim, my first promoter, Professor Nur Haidi, who sincerely supported me from the beginning of my study until now and assisted me at all of part of my work. My second promoter, Professor Zulkifli Nasi, who guided me and assisted me in finding sources during my work. My respected examiners, Dr. Abdul Qayyum, who helped me and guided me to the right method. Professor Dr. Shafiq Muhammad Hanafi, who also directed me and committed me for the betterment of my work. Professor Ibn Kizam, who also was with me from my comprehensive exam. Professor John Eddy, who also advised me during my master's degree when I was in the US. So I would like to extend my sincere and humble gratitude from all of you. It's you that I'm honored today in front of you. Also, I would like to express my appreciation and gratefulness from Indonesian government, people of Indonesia, particularly the people of Jogja, where we live for more than 3 years here. Also, I would like to express my gratitude from State Islamic University, Sunan Kalijaga. They supported us for more than 3 years financially. Director and also director of the University International Office. Also, I would like to thank Graduate School of Studies, Director and Deputy Director, all my regional professors and staffs here. They helped me during my work. And also I would like to thank my colleagues that they are here joining us, and also they are joining online with us. So the topic today of my dissertation is Islamic Microfinance System, a study on Zakat in Qadr al-Hassan in Afghanistan. The problem is that why I selected this topic for dissertation. The problem is that Afghanistan classified the highest ranking of having poverty. In this regard, Zakat in Qadr al-Hassan are considered the primary instrument of financial instrument of Islamic microfinance, and they are closely correlated with poverty alleviation. It's also financial assistance with the poor and needy people. But however, in Afghanistan, the management, including contribution and distribution of zakat, is still challenging. And ulama predicted various ways in this regard to alleviate poverty by zakat in Qadr al-Hassan. It is the use of zakat in the form of Islamic microfinance or zakat for long-term investment. But in Afghanistan, zakat is used for short term, only to survive the people. So the problem is that how can Afghanistan change its policy from short term to long-term investment. How can deal of Afghan ulama, or how can deal to use zakat in the form of Islamic microfinance, or use zakat, or invest in, or can be invested for long-term investment to be effective in poverty alleviation, not only for survival the people, because ulama said the zakat can be used for two kind of purposes: for short term to survive the poor people, and the second for long term to enhance the economic condition of the people. So, as the theoretical framework, there are various theories related to Islamic microfinance and zakat and Qadul Hasan. The most important is that the using of zakat in the form of Islamic microfinance or zakat investment. It is called in Arabic istismar al-zakat. Istismar al-zakat means that increasing of the capital in the way that Almighty Allah permitted. It means increase of the capital in permissible way. So, recently the ulama has divided into two categories. Some the first category disagree to use zakat in the form of Islamic microfinance or invest zakat for long-term investment. But the second category of ulama says that zakat can be used for long-term investment because the purpose of zakat is to alleviate poverty. So if we would like to alleviate poverty, so therefore we need to use zakat in the form of Islamic microfinance, or we need to invest zakat for long-term investment. So the second theory is zakat politics and management. As the third pillar of Islam, zakat is considered maliyatul ijtimaiya of Islam in socio-economics. So Islamic scholars discuss that management of zakat controlling, it is essential to be controlled by the politics, by the government. So to complete zakat, there is need not only the collection of zakat, but we need to regulate the contribution of zakat as well. So because the collection of zakat is from the ayah, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. It says that this ayat is, we can infer that the collection of zakat. From the other ayat that it is in the صَدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, it requires us to control distribution of zakat. So if we would like to use effectively zakat, there is the necessity to invest zakat for long-term investment, or we can use zakat in the form of Islamic microfinance. So therefore, Indonesia and Malaysia, they passed the law for controlling zakat, and they established public institution for controlling zakat and private institution to regulate zakat. As the research procedure, there is two kind of procedure that I have done for this research. One is a historical perspective in descriptive data. The first, to avoid the waste of time, and also to in consideration the COVID-19 situation, I decided to collect first descriptive data and analyze from Quran and Hadith, classic jurisprudence, academic books, and also academic articles. The second procedure was field research, field journey. I had field journey. When my field journey was to Afghanistan, I divided Afghanistan into 4 zones and capital. And I interviewed with ulama, university professors, and also from the practical side, I interviewed and designed questionnaires for Muzaki to understand the practical part of zakat in Afghanistan. The second part of my field research journey was in Indonesia. I divided Indonesian institution into 2 categories: public institution and private institution. I visited in public institution to Basnas. I visited them and I asked them about the collection and contribution of zakat. And also I visited in public institution, for example, Roma Zakat, Dompit Duafa, and BMT Bring Harjo for their procedure and management of zakat contribution and collection. So to conclude, in conclusion, in finding that I found that Afghanistan has some weaknesses in zakat and Qadul Hasan. It needs to be enhanced. So there are 2 points in session for Afghanistan to be performed for the management of zakat. One is the collection of zakat. It is religiously the duty of the government. It can be inferred from the ayah Akim Salat or Atu Zakata. So Afghanistan need to create a proper mechanism for collection of zakat and build independent institution. The second point goes to the distribution of zakat. It's also mentioned in the Quran that zakat must be distributed to appropriate person, to appropriate beneficiary. So because when we see the complete management of zakat, the complete management of zakat requires 2 points: collection and distribution. So in Afghanistan, we cannot say that it is completely implemented because the distribution is not much clear mechanism in Afghanistan. So the third forum, the third point that I have found during my studies, that in Afghanistan zakat is used only for short term to survive the life of the people, not to alleviate poverty. If Afghanistan wants to alleviate poverty and effectively use zakat, it needs to change its policy from short term to long term. So in this regard, I prefer the second category of ulama that says that zakat can be invested for long term investment. And also I propose this model for Afghanistan, including zakat and qadr hasan. So
Turn off time.
this is my question.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we invite Professor Nurhaidi to raise some questions, and the time is 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Sunan, Professor Mahsin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
First of all, I would like to congratulate our brother Ziaur Rahman Mustamza. He is standing there to defend his dissertation entitled Islamic Microfinance System, the Study on Zakat and Qadr Hasan in Afghanistan. To my opinion, we have somehow successfully demonstrated the key factors behind the failure of Afghan Muslims in managing zakat and Qadr Hasan, so that it cannot contribute significantly to the poverty alleviation. And also you try to show, based on your analysis about the management system of zakat and Qadr Hasan in Indonesia and Malaysia, a new model, yes, to implement in Afghanistan for the management of zakat and Qadr Hasan. Congratulations for your findings and thesis that you have demonstrated in your dissertation. My question is like this. First of all, you define zakat in your dissertation as the third pillar of Islam. This belongs to one of the rituals in Islam, part of the Rukun Islam. Right? And you say Muslims believe this pillar's fulfillment and obligation to be compulsory. To make zakat entirely as one of the 5 pillars, Islam insists that it is not only to be paid, but also to be distributed according to Islamic law. So, in this case, as one of the ritual in Islam, it is a bit difficult to reconceptualize zakat as something that you categorize as Islamic microfinance. Because if we talk about Islamic microfinance, this is of course quite relevant to the case of Qadr Hasan. Yes? This is about management of how one party lend money to somebody else, another party, without the interest. Yes? This is of course the case of what is that management system in Islam, which is allowed in Islam and regulated in Islam. But zakat is something different. My question is, how do you really believe that zakat can be categorized and conceptualized as one of systems in Islamic financing?
Thank you so much. As I discussed before, that contemporary ulama, including Sheikh Yusuf Qadari, he says that zakat is in the past, it was only used to survive the people. Pay zakat and give to someone without any management. But recently, the concept is Islamic microfinance or use of or investment of zakat. It was quite strange for me when I studied this concept here in Indonesia, particularly when I visited to bring BMT, bring Hajj. The collective zakat, allocate some portion per urgent people needed urgently. In some portion, we allocate to use it in the form of Islamic microfinance. For example, BMT, we can buy, for example, motor per person. In we give money per person, he buy motor, he can drive by body inter. He can earn money. This money, some portion goes to the company, and some portion is supported himself. During the year, the portion of zakat, all the portion of zakat goes to the company, and finally the motor also, the motor come to the borrower, to the beneficiary. And also during the year, he also supported himself. So this is the using of zakat in the form of Islamic microfinance. As you said, many ulama, this is optional, but the contemporary ulama, they claim if we want to alleviate poverty by zakat, if we use this, we need such a strategy to use zakat.
Yeah, but still, I think so many Muslims believe that zakat is simply ibadah.
Ibadah, yeah.
As an ibadah, there is no much space for Muslims to reinterpret zakat. Zakat as it is already regulated in Islamic law, in the classical fiqh and everything.
Yeah.
So when we try to reinterpret zakat and give some new meanings and new interpretation as well as give some new mechanism of collecting and distributing the zakat. The question is, where is the ibadah character of zakat?
When I was writing this, my colleague said, you want to change the meaning of zakat.
Okay. Yes, my second question is, you indicated in your dissertation that one of the factors behind the failure of zakat management in Afghanistan is ulama's understanding and also conceptualization of zakat. They are conservative, yes. Afghan ulama, they are conservative. I mean, like I explained before, they understand zakat as it is. There is too much room for Muslims to reinterpret. This is what happened as long as I follow in the dissertation. No much debate and discussion about that. I still wonder actually, as Muslims of Afghanistan, let alone the ulama, they are the strict followers of Hanafi school of Islamic law, right?
Yeah.
And Hanafi school of Islamic law, Hanafi madhab, is known as the most rational.
Yeah.
They are applying qiyas and they are also applying logic, yes, in interpreting, in taking a decision to certain issue, among Muslims. So, why is it the ulama of Indonesia and the ulama of Malaysia who are Safi followers and in general known as less rational because they are trying to combine between text and logic, yes, who are quite open to the new reinterpretation, the reinterpretation of zakat and its management compared to the ulama of Afghanistan.
The ulama of Afghanistan, as I know, the ulama in the fatwa, he only refers to the book, previous book fatwa. That they come from Pakistan ulama and also from the human ulama from India. They do not interpret any ayah, any hadith by themselves, because in Afghanistan the rule is that the door of each heart is closed. We cannot expose our own opinion. What is in the other books, other fatwas books from previous classic books, good students, they do fatwa based on that books, and so based on the books that is come from the Pakistan muftis and also from Indian muftis. But here when we consider Indonesian ulama, for example, in Indonesia is they are the following of Shafi'i mazhab in the worship. But when we consider such fatwas, I consider in zakat, in Fadl Hasan, the ulama consider all mazahib. In this forum, when we allow Indonesian ulama investment of zakat, it is based on the Hanafi ulama, in the Hanafi mazhab. Hanafi mazhab says zakat is not fawri, not immediately to report, can be delayed for some time. In the other mazahib says it is immediately, we cannot investment. But Indonesian ulama, for the betterment of the society, for the beneficiary of the society, we prefer the mazhab of Hanafi. But in Afghanistan, we strictly, as you said, follow of Hanafi. We cannot go out of the area of Hanafi jurisprudence.
Okay, thank you very much.
In Afghanistan, January 5th, 1987, has successfully passed the examination with the predicate of excellent. And he has granted a doctoral degree in Islamic Studies with specialization in Islamic law and Muslim societies, with all scribed rights and duties. Ziaur Rahman Muskalamzai is the 875th doctor graduated from Pascasarjana, UIN, Sunan, Kalijaga, Yogyakarta, December 21st, 2022, at examining Professor Mahasik signed.
Delivering the diploma.
The audiences are kindly asked to stand.
Dr. Ziaur Rahman Muskalamzai. Dear Dr. Muskalamzai, let me first of all express my gratitude to God, the Almighty God, and also the Prophet Muhammad, that today you can finish your dissertation and officially granted the degree of PhD in Islamic Studies from the Graduate School of Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University, Yogyakarta. Congratulations, and hopefully with this title and the knowledge you receive during your study with us here in Yogyakarta will be giving you more barakah, as well as opportunity for your career to develop higher education in Afghanistan, and also to probably contribute somehow to the betterment of the situation in your country. I and Dr. Zulkifli, as a co-promoter, we have been following your really struggle, yes, your real struggle to conduct your PhD in this university. For you to finish your PhD degree here is not an easy task. It is really a struggle because you come here in 2019 and we try to settle some issue with the scholarship and everything. Even though in the beginning you came because of the memorandum of understanding between Director General of Education and the Vice Minister of Higher Education of Afghanistan, yes, to support your study here with the scholarship from the Ministry of Religious Affairs. But at the time, the year of 2019, there was kind of complexities in the management of financing your study from the ministry, and finally we could still settle the problem by requesting the support from our university and everything. So it is the beginning, and then you follow all the course that delivered by excellent professors, including Professor Mahasi and all of our professors here in the class in the Islamic Thought and Muslim Society. And you already demonstrated your capacity to conduct your PhD research at the time, and we were very proud of you. That COVID pandemic erupted and somehow disturbed your study. You decided to return to Afghanistan, and it was like 1 or 2 years in Afghanistan, but you still were able to utilize your time in Afghanistan by doing some research, interview, and everything. And finally, today, together with your beloved friends, classmates, Dr. Hakimi and Dr. Salim, 3 of you can finish your PhD within the period of 3 years, 3.5 years. Yeah, 3.5 years. That is quite excellent, actually. And you also contribute significantly to the development of this course, your discourse in Afghanistan, hopefully pertaining to the management of Zakat and Padmasa. Hanya, and also many congratulations from us as the promoter, and also from the examiners and all your lecturers at this university. This is, and last but not least, please convey our warm regard to your family in Afghanistan. They are certainly missing you after you are somehow away from them a couple of months to finish this study. Please convey our disregard. Hopefully they, all of them, and also your colleagues in Afghanistan can be joining us in celebrating your success today. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.